Your journey, Scott, as Scott, how are you integrating the I see obviously these experiences that you're sharing with us, your audience. How does it go at home? Are you married? Do you have kids? How is it? How are you treated as a result of, I mean, I know from my own experience, spewing out non-duality is, it's just not something any of us do, I don't think. Once you realise the truth, it's not done in that way. But how do you integrate it into your family dynamics and into your professional life?
Yeah, that's a great question, because if I look back, it was 8 years ago that a friend handed me a non-duality book and said, I think you might be interested in this, and it just ended up consuming me, because it inherently, I knew that whatever it was in this book and all the other books that came after it, like, it was really important. I didn't know what it was, though, but it was important. And it scared me. And I still overcame that fear of, like, because it doesn't take too long in this message where you come up against you're not who you are. You've never been who you are. And you don't really know what to do with that. And some of us will put these books down and never come back to them. And some of us, we have to just see a little bit more what this means. And if you're one of those that looks a little bit more and a little bit more, you'll be caught in the Eastern. The East has a saying for that: you'll be caught in the jaws of the tiger. You'll be caught in the clench of being, that it's inescapable, because it starts to reveal itself as these amazing qualities. And once that latches onto you, you're in for until the end. Like it or not, you're until the end. The main reason why I'm in this message at all, why that person handed me that book, because I was in a state of suffering. It seems as most people end up here because suffering of some amount, that they can't figure out how to be happy again, find some level of happiness. And so when this book was put into my lap, I wasn't that fun of a guy. My business was, at the time I was a home builder, so I was coming through the Great Recession, and I'm just one of a few builders that survived it, because everybody else went out of business, and I was scared. And it put me into a realm I couldn't figure out how to get out of. And it changed who I was, what came through me. And I wasn't violent by any means, and I wasn't verbal. It was just negative energy that I couldn't control. It just was. I could come into a room, and with my family, if they were all in there, and 5 or 10 minutes later, I'd be the only one sitting in there. They would unconsciously just get up and leave, because I just wasn't that fun. And when I surrendered to myself, I just said, I will accept whatever you give me in return. And I'm asking nothing in return. That's true total surrender. Because I knew that this character that you are with right now is who I truly am. And I had lost him. He was lost along the way. And the more I surrendered, the more I inquired, the more I rested in self, and self corrected the negative parts of Scott, you could say, my family started to come back to me. I didn't do anything. What I did is I rested in being. That's what I did. I rested in myself. And I, myself, corrected, you could say corrected. It's come in line with reality would be another word. And reality is peace. And I started to experience myself as that peace and love. And what happened? That comes through you. What else happens? Others are drawn closer to that because they want that. Or they enjoy being around that. And when this started happening, I just knew in my direct experience that this was the truth. I'm seeing it. I am it. I'm experiencing it pull people that I love closer to me, and I'm not doing anything besides being myself. And that you can't do being. The moment you do being, who's doing being? An ego's doing being. Therefore, you're not being. That's why you have this total surrender into self. Because the more that ego goes away, the more being is present, and the more people want to be in your presence, especially the closest ones. And that's everything. That's why I do what I do. That's why I continue to self-inquire. That's why I share this message, because I've seen what it does directly. I don't live in fear anymore. I live in peace. I live as peace. It's not something that's added to me. I am it. I am is peace. And it's same thing with my business world. My partner as I surrendered myself to this message, he was somebody that I knew for a couple of years, but we weren't that close. He started coming closer, and he was interested in what I was doing, and he and I are not only business partners and friends, but we're the message of non-duality. He and I are like this. I've helped him realize himself. And so these things, there's a drawing.